Hey, Silent Willow. Are you ready to see something so cool? Are you ready? Let me know when you're ready. Okay. So, if you look here, if I can make this bigger, oh, I can make the window bigger, but not the actual screen. You will notice this is the Writer magazine, and featured on the cover where it says Curio Fiction, what the hell is it? The featured article on the cover of the magazine, written by me. It's out. It's been out since I want to say Saturday. So the digital version is out. The print version, it still takes about like 2 weeks or so. So you can't buy it in like any place where you would buy a magazine. Usually nowadays you buy a magazine at a bookstore. Um, but if you subscribe to the Writer magazine, the digital version or whatever, there it is. My story that I wrote, and it's published, and it's here. OMG. This is my first ever like freelance thing. And then down here at the bottom, this is what took me so long to write because I had to write like a blurb um, about myself in third person. Yeah, I mean, I have no accolades. I've got nothing. So I didn't have much to write about myself, but I did link to my Substack, which is my newsletter. So if people want to subscribe, they can. But yeah, so this is what I had been sitting on and not able to really speak much about until it came out. Now it's out. Now I can talk about it. The way it happened was totally not planned at all. Like I wasn't looking to, do freelance writing by any means whatsoever. In fact, and I did write about it, and it's gonna come out on June 15th. So yes, I did get paid. Oh, of course. My wife would not have allowed me to do it if I wasn't going to get paid. Trust me. Um, but yes, I did get paid. And the way that it happened, it's is that several issues ago. So not this issue from the Writer magazine, but a few issues prior to this. Um, it actually says it was live 5 days ago. So the 25th. Oh, I didn't even realize that I could have seen it on the 25th. But anyway, so a few days ago or a few issues ago, so this was back in like March, I think. Um, I was reading the Writer magazine, and the editor of like the actual editor in chief. I was reading, you know how most magazines, the editor in chief has something to say at the beginning. It's like a page worth, and you read it, whatever. So I was reading it, and it says something to the effect of like, they're writing a novel, and they want to know if anyone else is writing a novel, and let's get together and yeah, the opinion piece. So let's get together and like be pen pals about how our journey is with writing said novel. And normally I don't like do anything with those opinion pieces. Like I read it, I move on. But for some reason, I don't know why, I decided to email the editor of the Writer magazine. And for some reason, I don't know why, the editor of the magazine responded back to my email. I was not expecting it. I was like, you know what? This is the editor in chief of the oldest in print magazine for fiction writers ever. Like this magazine goes back to like the 1800s. I think 1887 or something like that. So this magazine has been in print for a minute. I was like, there ain't no way that I'm going to get a response. It was well within 24 hours. It was like maybe 12, 8 hours later that the editor responded to me. we got into conversations back and forth, and I was telling them about my plans with this thing called Curio Fiction. I was telling them what it was about, and then before you know it, they said, "So, do you want to write about what Curio Fiction is, and we'll put it in our July issue?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I was just telling you in an email. And it's not my phrase, not my term. I give full credit to who created the term of curio fiction. I'm simply reporting on what it is based off of what I've read about it myself from the creator of the thing. So it's not my word, it's not my phrase. I have no ownership over it whatsoever. I just reported on it in the Writer magazine. Was not expecting, the editor in chief to be like, to just hand me a job and say, here's a contract to be a freelancer. Here's how much we'll pay you for it. Here's how many words we want. I think I had till, I want to say April 15th was the deadline for me to get 2,000 words to them. Um, and I think I delivered like by April 5th or April 8th. I'll have to look back and but I think I do outline this in like with dates in the email that I'm going to be sending on the 15th of June. But yeah, so, signed all the contracts, did all the things, and then boom. So now it's like, what's next? I do have some ideas that I want to now like pitch instead of being given an assignment, which is essentially what this was. I didn't, I wasn't reaching out to be like, hey, do you mind if I write something and you print it? We were just having kind of, casual conversation back and forth. And then before I knew it, like, this happened. It doesn't always happen that way. Like, that's not the way, that's not the normal channels and ways it's supposed to happen. Um, but it did. And so, I can't just sit on that and be like, okay, that was great, moving on. Now I've got to be like, what's next? Um, oh, interesting. Writer teachers who you'll enjoy reading and learning from. Oh, I gotta read that. I gotta read the other articles from this issue. But yeah, so just wanted to share now that I can officially share that happened, which is wild to me still that I have something published. And and I was actually looking up the circulation of this magazine because it's like, people are always talking about how magazines are out of print, and I'm sure these numbers are not like wow numbers by any means whatsoever when you consider how many billions of people are in the world. But they do have a print circulation of like, um, 90,000, I think. One other thing that I found surprising was it's like 3 to 1 in terms of women to males who subscribe and read the magazine. So men are not really reading um, literary magazines. It's actually women, which I guess is not surprising because I figure a man would probably think, I don't need to read no writer magazine to know what's what and to make it in this business. So, you know what? I take that back. That's probably why there's more women reading the magazine than men. Um, but yeah, I was looking at like the demographics and all these things of like who is subscribing to the Writer magazine. There are more, I think there are more digital than print subscribers. Oh, please! I am the last person to run print out of town yet. I am the biggest proponent of print. You know me. If I don't have to put it as an ebook, I'd rather not. I'm not a fan of ebooks by any means. In fact, I actually just wrote a hot take article um, today, which was on why it's called "No One Reads Fiction Anymore," so why bother writing it? Because there was a whole conversation and discussion happening in the Substack world, um, which was about the fact that people are saying that, print books and people who write novels and, print them aren't earning enough to make a living, which I have to pretty much laugh at, considering how the industry right now is in the billions of dollars, like hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's actually on the rise because the majority of movies and TV shows, with the exception of reality television, comes from books nowadays. The majority, if not like almost, I would say it's like 10 to 1 in terms of every TV show, every movie that we watch now was before a book. And now people who are writing because they know that their short story or their novel series could end up being purchased by HBO Max or Hulu or Netflix or any number of those things and turned into some form of other medium, such as a TV show or a movie. So if anything, if you want to get into the writing business, now is the time, because contests are looking for it, screenwriters are looking for it, production studios are looking for it, publishing houses are looking for it. Like, and it's expected, and it's already, quantified that the print book buying and selling industry will grow year over year by almost 2% every year, will increase. And what's even crazier than that with those numbers is that less than 9% of all book sales are ebooks. So whenever someone says to me that it doesn't make any sense or print is going out of style, excuse me, over 90% of the $100 billion industry is print books, whether it's hardcover, paperback, or mass. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, you think that ebooks are really crushing it right now, but actually they're not. They only account for less than 9% of all sales come from the ebook world. They actually 90+% of all sales that are happening. And I mean, all I have to do is look at my own bookshelves to know that that is obviously true. I mean, I buy more books than I need, more books than I have space for, more books than I have time to read. Like, and I buy multitudinous of the same books, right? Like, if you look over my head right now, that entire shelf are 6 different versions, or 6 different sets of the same book. It's 6 different sets of the Harry Potter books are right behind me over my head. And you know what? I am in the middle of collecting 2 other sets of the Harry Potter books just because I want the set. I've read them already decades ago, but it doesn't matter. The second they come out with a new set of Harry Potter, I'm buying it. Don't you take my money, throw it at you, no problem. And that doesn't even account for all the new books that I buy versus the old books that I'm collecting. Print books is where it's at. So trust and believe. Trust and believe you. And like, I have they're not, they used to be up here so that I could point to them, but I actually think they're on the other side of my office. But I actually have Garrett's books on my shelf. I keep him next to like my Brandon Sanderson and George R.R. Martin and Patrick Rothfuss. I have all of those on the same shelf. And I tell him that from time to time. I'm like, I'm putting you in the same league as those writers, so you better keep it up. Okay, I need to finish this story. I'm on 99 words. I need to make this story 100 words, and then I will have my story for the day. Because as you know, every day I write one 100 word story every day. And so far, I've been killing it. I mean, not to toot my own horn here. I think you said you're subscribed to my newsletter, so you've probably read 1 or 2 of them. I send them sporadically throughout the day. Unfortunately, I don't have a set time because I really do write them on the day. Like, I'm not writing these ahead of time and just rolling them out each day. Every day I get up and I write a new one. Um, but I think I've been really crushing some of them. Like my poems, love them. I was actually nervous. I think it was the other day on Sunday to release the one that was called Nuns. It's a poem because I was like, should I release this on a holy day? Like people might not appreciate that. But I was like, you know what? I wrote it. I was gonna hold off on it and release it yesterday. Um, but since I had already written it and it was ready to go, I was like, you know what? If people don't like that I released a poem like this on a Sunday, oh well. And I released it. And it's one of the best ones that's gotten the most like rave comments about it. People email me now and they'll tell me like how much they love it and they laugh out loud when they read it. So I've been crushing it. I'll take that. Um, I actually have it right here. So and I haven't decided. People have been asking me like if I'm gonna turn these into a podcast and just read all of them and record them since they only take like 30 seconds to read. I don't know yet. I feel I don't know if it's worth my time to record something that's 30 seconds. If that's like, why would someone want to listen to a 30-second podcast? That just seems crazy to me. But in the same way that like people say, why would someone want to listen to a podcast that's an hour and a half or 2 hours? I don't know. Okay, so every night at 5:15, 12 little nuns would take a short drive to a nearby bar filled with smoking and drinking, and best of all, those wicked men sinning. They'd save him and take him for a ride 2 miles or more, then drop him off at the sinner man's door, where no one ever is found again, and they thanked the Lord for good deeds. Amen. 12 little nuns just doing God's work woke up to a house filling with smoke. Turns out the sinner man wasn't done till he took the wicked souls of everyone. Oh, I like that one. I spent a really low. I spent like maybe 20 minutes on that one. Normally I spent like 10 to 15 minutes, but that one, it was worth the 20 minutes to write it. I think that's the second poem of like the 30 that I've written so far. I've written two poems. The other one was Mary Sue. That was a good one. Mary Sue was a good poem too, but and then yesterday's, I got so many responses from yesterday's because I said to people, I was like, okay, I went to see a house yesterday because my wife and I are trying to move, and so we went to see a house on a holiday of all days. And we were actually in a bidding war today about it. So I was like, okay, I'm either gonna write like a happy story, a sad story about the actual house itself, or I'm gonna write about the trip that it took because we had to take like a road trip to go see this house. Um, I get the feedback either. It is all on my Substack. Like all of these are on my Substack, but where I get the feedback is usually they'll leave a comment. They might either leave a comment directly in the email. Like when you get the email, there's a section somewhere in the email. I'd have to hold on. Let me see. Where is it in the email? Um, so if you open, like you see, I have all these emails. Like they're coming like so quickly. I can't even keep track of them. But here's like house for sale. So when you click on it, there should be a section down here where you could click and you can leave a comment, or you could just come to the email and just literally hit reply to the email and I will get it. Um, and that's all you really have to do. So I get them both ways. So either people will leave a comment, in which case the comment you can see directly here. Um, like here I got a comment from someone for the one I did yesterday, or you can hit reply and then I'll have it in my email inbox and then I'll reply to you there. So I will get them in both places. Oh, another place that I could get them is when I come here and I leave it as a note within Substack. um so um if I Oh, someone just subscribed to my newsletter. That was sweet. Okay. Um, I'm getting people subscribing all the time because they read it and they like it. So I might get something here where I will, um, you don't know what this means, but I'll restack it, and then it's sort of like a Twitter thing, but not really. It's Twitter within Substack itself, and so people can leave a comment about it here. So there's actually three places, now that I think about it, where I can get commentary or feedback on what I've written. And it's just two poems out of 30, so really, the other 28 are just a regular story. But so all of them, I get commentary on all of them, but I know that those two are really, were really liked by the public, as they say. Okay, let me go back to this one and try to finish it. Was prearranged. Done. That was fast. Okay, so like immediately after I've written something, like just now, I post it right away. I don't even stop to think, oh, I should name it. Name it Sunny Day. I try to name it something that's like one or two words. I don't want to be too wordy with the title, just because it's 100 words. I don't want to get too crazy. Oh, this says it's 99. What? I think that's the first time that's happened to me. Where this says it's 100, but the other thing says it's 99. I'm wondering if it's because... Hold on, something here that's counting something as 2 words is counting it as 1 word over there. Huh, I'm gonna leave it as is because my own thing is counting it, I think, correctly. Alright, let's set this up. Yep, that one. Okay, done. Let's see how people like that one. That one's a bit of a comedic one. I've been doing a lot of I like to do horror and terrible endings. That one's a happy ending. I mean, they lived happily ever after at the end, so what's not to like about it? Okay. So in 2 days, I have an email coming out in 2, I think just 2, right? 2 different Substacks. Oh yeah. Do I see it that way? No, I don't. You're lying. You fib. Oh no, he definitely doesn't seem like such a nice, wonderful, carefree person. I mean, have you looked at Stephen King lately? He looks like a scary dude. No offense to Stephen King. He's a scary looking dude. I would not want to cross paths with him. I don't like him at all either. So join the club. One of the things I do have to do, and I'll probably do this again tomorrow just because I want to make sure I get it as accurate as possible. I like to track how many people are reading the chapters of the book. We're reading the second book in the Wizard of Oz series now. So, yeah. Did I show you the new tarot cards that I got? Oh my god, they're so gorgeous. They are so... Especially the Edgar Allan Poe one that I have. Oh, those cards are unbelievable. Oops. That's not what I meant to do. I just happened to glance at them. They're sitting next to me telling me, do something with me. Do something with me. Which I will at some point in the future. Okay, so let's count chapter likes. So we're reading the Land of Oz. Here we're up to chapter 7. Tomorrow we'll be reading chapter 8. $42, $41, $36. $42, $41, $36. I'm having so much allergy issues. 35, 34, 33, 29. Was that right? 33 and then 29? Yeah. Okay, so that's all of those. And then what I do is I take a screenshot and I put it in the next Oz. The next Oz Gazette will be coming out June 1st, so that's in 2 days. I already have it written, I believe, and I think I already have the cover art for it. Do I? Let me check and make sure. Yeah, it's right here, so let's just take a look. Oh, that's not what I wanted to look at. Oops. I wanted to look at the settings. Oh, no, I don't have cover art for this. Interesting. I need to get cover art. I'm actually doing a Discord server, but it's just for this community, so it's going to be a very small server. It's not going to be about writing at all. It's literally going to be just for... Sorry, I thought I heard something. Just for Beyond the Wizard, so I'm only sharing it with that email list, which is currently at like 400 plus. So I'm getting prepared for that because I don't think my server is as 100% set up as it should be. I know I made a to-do list for myself somewhere. But it's almost there, almost there. I just have to make sure it's ready by tomorrow because on Thursday, I'm guessing, like I have over 400 subscribers to the newsletter, but my assumption is I'll probably get between 30 and 40 people join the server. If I'm going by the numbers of how many people are actively like doing all of this stuff, like in the actual newsletter itself, like liking the posts and saying they're participating and reading the chapters, etc., then I would be surprised if more than 40 people join the server. But different strokes for different folks, right? People who would join a server might not be the same people who would hit the like button on a newsletter or leave a comment in a newsletter, right? It might be two different types of people, so we'll see. I don't know. I do know that a huge percentage of people open the email, so if at least 40% is an open rate, so it's very possible that I could get easily like several hundred people joining Substack if joining the server, if I'm assuming that all the people who are subscribed to my Substack know what Discord is, have their own username, and therefore will join the server, which is a lot of ifs. There's also going to be a website coming out this winter, beyondthewizard.com, which is going to have a few things, and all of this is a culmination of me at some point next year. I was going to do it this year, but I just don't have the bandwidth to do it this year, so I'm hoping next year I will be able to then take this reader list of this group that I've created who are reading all of the Wizard of Oz books to then purchase when I write my twist on the Wizard of Oz, which I've been working on for a very long time. So I will almost have like a built-in audience because I've got over 400 people right now reading the book, each book with me. So when I say to them, hey, you guys, I wrote this twist, logically that should translate to sales of my book to these people that are in this community that I put together and that I spent a lot of time and effort on for the last year making it what it is today. So if that works, I will definitely report back on it in my other over here. I will share the news and be like, hey, you guys, look at what I did over here. Um, I'm also attempting to do a similar thing over here, which is I have 3 Substacks right now that are currently active. Um, this one is a lot smaller than Beyond the Wizard, but this one has to do with Star Trek. It's a harder sell to do this what I'm doing right now with Star Trek because it involves me simply watching every episode and reviewing every episode and finding people who are Trekkies who are um, you know, willing to read this. So it's a much harder sell, and I don't have any intention of writing anything sci-fi or Star Trek adjacent by any means whatsoever. This one really is just a passion project of a thing that I like doing, and so I want to share it with other people who like Star Trek. Um, I'm really not looking to monetize this in any way, shape, or form. But what I will tell you is I did monetize my main Substack, which is now called Erica Drayton Writes. It goes through many name changes over a long period of time. But you know how I'm writing these 100 words daily? After tomorrow, if you have not been subscribed to my newsletter and you want to read all of the 31 stories that I wrote in May, you will not be able to unless you are a paid subscriber. I am each new month, I am paywalling the previous month. So I already did because I just wanted to see like would anyone notice if I did it 2 days early, because technically I wasn't going to do this until like tomorrow night. I was gonna like be up tomorrow night at like 8 o'clock and just do this real quick. But the first 25 days of this, unless you have it in your email, which is why I said unless you're subscribed. So if you were subscribed to me before May 1st when I started doing this, then you have access to read all of my stories in your inbox if you didn't delete it. But if you deleted my email or if you deleted my email and you're subscribed, or you're not subscribed at all and you see my story, let's say tomorrow, and you're like, oh man, that's a really good one, let me go back and read her back catalog for the last month because she's been writing this every day. June 1st, you will not have access to any of my May stories. July 1st, you will lose access to May and June. They will be put behind a paywall. August 1st, you will lose access to May, June, and July. They will be put behind a paywall. So the last day of the month, I'm going to take the entire month, all those days, convert them all to paid, and then move forward. And the reason I'm doing that is there's many reasons. One is it's an experiment and a test to see if people who come along, who find out through word of mouth about my 100 words daily, are willing to pay a monthly or yearly subscription to get access to these stories. And then the other reason is I do have every intention of making my 100 words daily into a book, like a print book that I'm going to hold in my hand. And I'm going to do the first one after 365 days. So I want to do a full year. It won't be a full calendar year because I started this May 1st. So basically, after April 30th of 2024, I think will make it 12 months if I'm doing the math right. I'm going to take 365 and I'm going to make a book with it. And then I'm also going to do my favorites. So I'm going to do these in order in a book, and then I'm going to do a separate collection that's going to be my favorites. I have many ideas right now. I just want to be writing them every day. Um, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm putting them behind a paywall because eventually I am going to put them into a huge collection and put them up for and put that book up for sale to buy my first 365 um, stories. So it'll be 36,500 words essentially, and I'm trying to be really unique with it. So I'm going to have an introduction which will be exactly 100 words. I will have an acknowledgments page which will also be 100 words. Like each page, with the exception of like the copyright page, I want whatever pages are in the book to be exactly 100 words. So I need to be very picky and choosy with what I'm doing. Um, and I have a design in my head on visually how I'm going to have the stories be represented on the page. I want one story per page. And so I already know I already have in my head visually what that's going to look like with InDesign. I'm going to use InDesign to create each page unique. Each page will be unique and different. I won't be able to do an easy copy paste because of just how unique and different I intend for each page to be when you turn each page for each story. So that's going to be so much fun. I'm really, part of me wants to start designing it now as I do each month, just because I know how much time it's going to take to do each one because of how unique I want each page to look. It's not going to be the way you read a book where the words are left to right and they're all the same size, the same shape, the same font. Like this is going to be really wild what I'm thinking about doing with each book. I want to use artwork. I want to use certain. I'm gonna really like. It's gonna look like a really interesting piece of art as well as a collection of 365 stories. It's definitely gonna be something unlike you've ever seen before. But yeah, so I put them behind a paywall. We'll see what happens. Right now, if you went to look, you would only have access to the last 5 days of stories, and you would not have access to the other days. So hopefully it won't bite me in the butt that people will be like, what? Because I don't want to write something that will immediately after I've written it, it goes behind a paywall. I feel like that's, and I don't want to paywall something in the middle like a lot of people are doing, where you'll read like a couple paragraphs and then you'll see this paywall there to say if you want to read the rest you have to become a subscriber. Those two options are not ideal to me. So the only thing I could think of is I put it out there for free initially, and as long as you're subscribed, you will always get to read it for free regardless. Um, but if you're a newcomer and you want to read something from back then, yes, then in order to get access to that back catalog, unfortunately you lost out because you signed up, later than everybody else. But if you want to read it and you don't want to pay X amount of money every month, you can wait till the end of a pay cycle, if you will, or of a year, and you can purchase it. You can just purchase the book one shot, one thing, and you have all of them. So, and you don't have to pay monthly for that. Um, Hopefully, it will work. Okay, so I think this one I scheduled as well, right? Yeah, oh, you know what I need to do? This I need to do ahead of time because this is actually going to take a lot of time on my part, which has to do with the literary tarot cards. And I only need the book for this. I don't think I need the I'm like reading the really little book here. So each card is depicted by um, a classic book that is in the public domain, and the famous author or the author in period who paired it. So some of these authors, or a majority of them, I've never heard of. So what I'm thinking of doing, which will be very different from what I've been doing with my 100 word stories, that in June I'm going to give you my 100 word stories, but I'm also going to give you a bit of history on the classic, the person who paired the classic with the card and the image of the card. So it's going to be much more information, and that means what I'd like to do ahead of time, which I think I'm going to start doing today, is create the post, create all of the extra bits so that every day I can wake up and just write the story, as opposed to I have to get up, I have to format the email, then I can write the story. I would rather it be formatted ahead of time, because it's going to be tricky. I won't be able, the email won't be 100 words like it has been. It will be the stuff about the book, the author, then my story. I mean, my story, I think my story should be first and then the other stuff. I do have the images saved somewhere. Hold on. That I did like months ago. I just have to find it. If I were images, where would I be? Do you know where I would be? Oh, here we go. Literary tarot deck. They should be here. Okay, so here go all the majors. So I have them as a JPEG, a PDF, and a PNG, because I wanted to make sure I had every possible version just in case something didn't look right. So let's... Okay, so now that I know where they are, let's do... Is it? It's just a 0. I don't know why I did 0, 0. This will be number 32. So I wish that they would allow like formatting with the image, so that I could put the image like left aligned and then have words beside it. That would be ideal. Although what I could do, because I can't do that, work with me here. Just see where I'm going with this. What if I did? There's very limited formatting that you can do within Substack, and I would think essentially the reason why they don't have all the bells and all the whistles is because they want to make sure that we just write. That's the idea, right? It's not to play around with all the bells and whistles. It's to just write what you got to write and send it. It's a newsletter. It's not meant to be a printed book. It's not meant to be a printed magazine. It's not meant to have any of those things. So I'm used to bells and whistles just because I work in things like Microsoft Word, and I work in things like WordPress and things like that give you those bells and whistles, but that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. In fact, that could make it a bad or distracting thing to do things like that. But there are workarounds, which I am about to work around right now. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here is the card for the Fool. So what I'm proposing to do is, because I can't do what I want to do, which is have words beside the image, I'm just going to do it here and then drop it all. Put whatever words I want to put here, which is info about the, and then that way, to me, it'll feel like I'm only really doing 100 words for my story, because I'm not counting the words that are going to be on this card. This card info. I'm going to call it like an info card. Should I make this card bigger? Let's see how big I can get this card before it starts looking. I think that's good. So now I need to have some sort of information about it on the side. Now I'm wondering what information they give me in the fancy book. Shall we have a look and see what information we get from the fancy book? I've been like so scared to open this thing too many times. Yeah, that's more geared towards tarot. So I think what I'm going to do is rely on Wiki here for a second. Just because I don't want to be rewriting things, I'd rather just take them as they are. So we are going to, first of all, this font is way too big. I think that's way too big as well, but let's start. We got to start somewhere, so let's start there. And let's do regular. Left the line. I'm gonna, you know what? I probably should have done this in my notepad. Let's do this in my notepad. Okay, I think that's it. And now I'm going to, there we go. All right, that's edited better. And like I said, it's way too big. Okay, let's bring it down to size. Can I zoom this out a bit? There we go, so I can see what I'm doing. I don't want to go too far to the edge. Okay, and then under it, I'm going to do ow, the same thing but with Patrick Rothfuss. There is nothing here, there is nothing here, good. I think there's gonna be an issue doing it this way. You know what I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do. Oh, whoops. Oh. And I want to do this. Now the question is, do I want to do it like this, like sort of center, because it's always going to not be centered if I do it that way? I feel like I should try to adhere to the line of the card instead. And just do it like that would be the card. I could also do this, and then duplicate this, and put this up here, and have this say, like I had called it before, and then make it a big thing, center it, doesn't really matter. I would move this up a bit. The issue is that every card is going to be different in terms of the length of the information. So I don't want to do too much. Does this have any spacing that I should know about? Oh, it does. Okay, that's too little. So that was 35. Let's do 30. Like that. I'm splitting hairs at this point. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. So I want to do this for all the cards that I'm going to be doing. So it will essentially look like this. I just want to make sure you can read it in the actual email itself. So let's test that theory. Let's do a quick preview. See, that's going to make it look really small, but let's look at it. If I look at it on a desktop, obviously it's going to look fine, right? Yeah. It's just on the phone where it's going to look a bit small. Let me email it to myself. But first, before I do that, can I just change this to be for everyone? Because what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to email it to myself. Okay, we will see what this looks like. Oh, I can't even because I'm using my phone. Let me look at it on here though. That's not too bad, but ooh, that's a bit of a strain. Even the card is a bit smaller than I thought it would be. This is going to be interesting. Should I see what it looks like the other way? So if I were to just drop the card in here, let's just do that just so we can see what it looks like. Hold on. Let's find the card again. Okay, so the card would be like massive. I would obviously have to resize the card because this is like massive and it don't need to be this big. I would resize it to about that size. And then I would have to then take this. What was that sound for? Oh, there's probably nobody. I have to do this. Actually, let me check. Make sure there really is nobody calling me. See, now the question becomes, do I put my 100 word story first, or do I put the card, all the information, then my 100 word story, with the hope that people will read the story after they've read the information about the card? I don't know. I don't know. Do I do the card, then my story, then the history about the card? Do I... Oh, what do I do? Another thought that I had was I would send my story as normal and say, if you want to learn more about, if you want to see the card and get information about the story, click here. And then when they click there, it would take them to something. I have no idea. And so I wouldn't put any of this there. I would just send my story and then be like, do you want to know what influenced it? If so, click here, and maybe it'll take them to either the info card or some page somewhere that I created that would have the card and then this stuff included. In which case, I would probably host it on my website somehow. Decisions. So many decisions. What does it look like if I... Yeah, that's terrible. I would have to recut or I would have to crop the card in order to make it what I want it to be in here, because that, you can't even tell what that is. Okay, I have to make this decision by tomorrow because I start doing this on Thursday, and I don't want something like this to set me back from just writing the damn story. You know what I mean? My instinct is telling me like I should create the info card for everything, but make the info card a clickable. Oh, you know what? Okay. I just had a thought because I've seen people do this, but I've never done it myself until just now when I realized a moment where I could do this thing. Where I link to the actual image that's saved on my site, so I don't have to actually create a page or anything. I literally just have to upload the image, get the link of the image, and that's it. I believe that's how that works. So we're going to test it right now. We are going to test it right now. So I'm just going to do this one, and once I know this one works, then I will do all the other ones. So like follow my thought process here, so that way I won't put any of this stuff in the actual email that I send. I will literally just have a sentence that says, want to know like the inspiration behind this story, click here. And then when they click here, it will take them to that image card. So let's go to my media. I'm going to add new. Oh wait, you know what? I want to put it in a folder. So let's create a folder first. Literary tarot deck. And then I'm going to create a subfolder in that folder. That's going to be major arcana. So that way I can. And then in here is where I'm going to drop this image card. I wonder if I should have renamed that before I dropped it in there. Let's see if it'll let me rename it after I've put it in here. It actually, it stays, okay, wait, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because I'm very, that's how weird I am about life. Can I delete this? Where's the delete button? Oh, here it is. Delete permanently. Yes. I want to rename it so it doesn't have that -1. I know why it does it. It's just really annoying that it does it. Okay, so now let's re-download it again, this time without the hyphen. Excellent. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I'm going to copy this URL, which is basically a URL of the image exactly. And if I were to do this, paste it in here and click enter, this is what the person would see when they click on it. So I am now going to, so I'm going to do this for every single image. So I don't have to create like a page of all these images somewhere and someone clicks on it and they pick out which one. They would literally just get a link directly to the image that's being hosted on my website. You follow? So now I don't need this. I also don't need this. And I don't need, like, I literally don't need any of it. But what I will do is, so 100 word story goes here. And then I will do a divider. And then I will say one more. Oh, this is, boom, that's it. And so now, if I do, so I don't have to worry about the image size. I don't got to worry about none of, like, I have to worry about it in the other thing, but I don't have to worry about it in here itself. So let's email this to myself now, just so I can confirm that it's all working as intended. Let's click OK. Let's come back here. Let's go back. Okay, so now I would have my 100 word story as you would normally get it in a thing. And then they would read this, want to learn more about the tarot card that inspired the story. Click here. Boom, that opens. Presto changeo. I think that works better. However, my only little nitpicky caveat with that is, what image do I use? Because I've got a couple of options, which will take me back to, hold on, I got too many things open now. I can close this, I can close this, I can close this and that. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to burp. Didn't mean to burp. But yes, Silent Willow, you are correct. I should always lead with my story. I can hear my wife telling me in my head, like, "Why are you giving me an image and all this other historical crap? I just want your story. That's what I've subscribed for, right?" So this way, all you're gonna get is my story. If you want to see the image, if you want to see what inspired the story, you can click here and it will open up. And if you don't, you don't have to. Simple as pie. Um, what was I about to do? Oh yes. Let's come back here real quick. I'm going to um, add a page. I wonder if I can reorder the pages. I can. I want to put this one first. Thank you. Let's exit view all. So I have, and I think I know where I have it, because I knew that this moment would come, so I saved it somewhere. But the question is, where did I save it? I thought I would have saved it right here. Maybe it's in here. It's in here. Okay. Whew. I was like, where did I save it? Okay, so this is the name of the deck. And so my thought is, if I just did this as the and then I would want to put, hold on, so it wouldn't just be that, I would have to put words. Because this is my 100 words daily, so I would have to put this. I don't know why I picked this color. Do I want to copy the color of the logo? Probably not. Yeah, I think that looks ridiculous. I'm also wondering what is the one that I use. I don't remember the name of the of this font. It's Turbinado Light. Pro Light. Okay. So let's go back. I'm wondering if I should remove the bottom part of this where it says a tarot deck unlocking the secrets of classic literature. If that's too much information, as they would say. I'm also wondering if I have this image in like not this color, if it's possible for me to get it. Let's see. I know where I got that one. I got it from the Kickstarter itself. So let's check the Kickstarter and see if I just missed a less icky looking version of it. Let's check. Here it is, Literary Tarot. Let's look at the campaign. See, I got it from right there. I just want to make sure that they don't have an all black version. The guidebook, the lookbox, the pairings. Yeah. I mean, look at how these cards look. Oh my god. They're just like magic. The tears. Yeah, it looks like that orange and gold is their thing. So I think what I am going to do is harp on that. So let's turn this to the opposite color. Let's come in here. I don't know if this is... It's not. Okay. I didn't think it was. Let's see if I can make it transparent. Let's see how difficult it would be to do that. I just have to get to it, which is right here. I'm just going to duplicate it, and whatever I do, I'm going to do to the duplicated one in case I make a huge mistake in what I am about to do. I don't know how good this is going to look when I'm done, but we're going to try. And then I'm probably going to end my stream here so that I can do some other stuff. I'm actually going to try to clean my office. My office is an absolute mess. There's junk on my couch. Like, it's just, it looks like a hot mess. So I really need to do something about that. So I'm going to see if I could take about 15-20 minutes out of my busy work day and clean my office. Now, I'm not sure if this thing here, if I want to take out all of the white or not, if I want to leave it. You know what, let's leave it for now. And let's see what happens here. I think I am going to get rid of those words. Let's see what it looks like if I did. It's bothering me, those words. So we might as well just get rid of them. Okay. There we go. More like that. This is my social preview image, so I do need it. And I'm gonna put it in here. So let's do that, just so I have it in the future. Alright, so now it's there. Now if we come back here to here, hit done, and this image is more for the people who come to the who come here, and it's not for the email. The email will never see this. Boom. That's it. Doesn't look centered. Does that look centered? Why does that not look centered? It's so weird how it does not look centered. But maybe my eyes are messing with me, and it is. Okay, so this is fine. I'm gonna put this back to normal text. All right, what time is it? It is almost 3 o'clock, so that gives me about an hour and 45 minutes or something like that to do other things. So I am going to actually peace out of here now so that I can go do those things. But yeah, I wrote my 100 word story for the day. I got myself set up for my June stuff. I'm going to do more of those. I'll do it off stream. It's really boring. But I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to create these cards, these media cards. I will create them in the Adobe Express, and then I will just basically house them all here on my website, and then just link back to them. So I just need to change that link for each one. But I'm going to create the first 22 today, so that way I could just get through it, because I'm doing every day. So the first 22 days in June are going to be the major arcana cards, so you will have those, and then the last 8 days of June, the last week basically, it'll be my normal, like I have been doing, where I'm just writing whatever pops into my head. I mean, each day I'm writing whatever pops into my head, but for the first 22 days, I will be using the card as the inspiration and the motivation and the prompt, if you will, for the story. So, okay, so that's it. Thank you, Silent Willow, for being here. Thanks for listening to my little bit of news. I'm going to stop this from playing right now in my ear. And maybe I'll be back tomorrow. I honestly don't know. Work is like really taking up a lot of my time these days, so it's rare for me to have time like this to just jump online. But I do it when I can. Otherwise, I'm sending out my stories every day. Tomorrow will be the last May story, and then I will transition into my June stories where I will have tarot card inspirations, literary tarot. It'll be fun. Hopefully, people will like it and resonate with it, and I will continue to get a lot of great feedback about it. Um, you know, till then, peace.